I mean, it depends. I mean, a lot of women say, they don't want to turn and have to turn into nurses when they get older.
Absolutely, yeah, and they are absolutely
So,
they are absolutely right because you do because dudes won't say it, but they absolutely like, well, man, shit, I need to get somebody to take care of me, and they'll settle down with somebody that they may or may not really want to be with, but she's good
mhm.
to me. She's nice to me. She cares because ain't nothing worse if you fucked up in the game and you got a woman that's mean to you and don't really care about you, you know, and your kids ain't gonna take care of you or whatever. So you better try to find somebody that's gonna deal with you. Cause like shit, you got to sit there and have somebody to wipe your ass and they can't they can't stand you. You're gonna be sitting there in the cut for a minute, right? So yeah, I get it. I get it 100%.
Yeah, you actually got me off the question with the money part. But do I feel that marriage benefits one more than the other? I think it depends on the people and how you're interacting with the marriage. Are you both putting 100% into this situation, or is one person putting more? If the one person is putting in more than the other, then yeah, I could see it not being beneficial to somebody. Like a rich man, if he marries a woman who's not financially on his level, yeah, he's not going to benefit much, especially with if he's rich, he can hire somebody to be a maid. He can hire somebody to be the cook. What is she actually contributing? Outside of feelings. But if you're having two people who are contributing equally and they want to please their spouse, both partners want to please their spouse. I don't necessarily see it as one benefiting one more than the other.
You're right. And I think the other piece that people miss, people that have not been married miss, is that sometimes it ain't 50-50. Sometimes you have to be the one that's carrying 70-30 because your partner just isn't in a good space. You know, they may be on a job that they hate. They may be dealing with an illness. They may be dealing with family issues or whatever. Anything could be going on, right? And it may be times when
Hmm.
you have to carry more of the load to keep that relationship going. Um, so that's something that you learn like, damn, you'd like it for it to be 50-50 the whole time, but sometimes that's just not reality. And you hope that the person who has to carry the heavier load doesn't become resentful and be like, fuck, I might as well be by myself. And you have to hope that the person that's being carried doesn't take it for granted.
I agree.
So, I mean, I think that's sometimes people say, well, listen, 50, all the whole 50-50 conversation and all that old shit. Like, listen, man, like, are we a team or are we not?
Yeah.
Sometimes you may have to get 50 and I just got to be on the board getting rebounds, or sometimes I may have to be the one that's hitting the shots and making the free throws. But as long as we win the game, that's what matters.
Yeah, that's true. And I mean, yeah, I did, and that's kind of why I hesitated when I said if both are given 100%, because that did pop into my mind that sometimes one will have to carry more than the other. But yeah, I really think it depends on the people. I mean, and actually, a lot of the people that I see saying that men don't benefit from marriage are usually the red pill community. I hate to say it, but
That's
it
true.
usually coincides with that train of thought.
You're right. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. It is the red pill community because it's now listen, I'm a capitalist and I want my money, and money is important, even,
Hmm.
even though I fucked off a lot of money in my life that I didn't have. But it's way more important how that woman makes you feel. How does she, that rich man that you talked about, who could hire a maid, who could probably pay a woman for good sex and all that old shit. It matters to him how down that woman is for him, how loyal she is, and how she makes him feel as a man. That's what matters. And a lot of that red pill community, they don't see that because they don't really see women as equals.
Hmm.
They
Yeah.
see objects or somebody that's to be controlled or to used or whatever. So there's, that their lens and how they look at women in relationships, nobody should be taken seriously at all.
Yeah. I agree. I agree.
Not at all. Because like, you got to listen to the right people. Like, for instance, I saw on social media where this girl called her dad because she had a tire blowout, and she was with her boyfriend. And she called her dad, and her first thing her dad said was, the first thing you need to do is drop that dude if he can't change a tire. And there are a lot of people that said dad was right, and some people said dad was being too harsh. What do you think?
Um, I tend to compare men to the men that's been in my life. And I know for sure that my maternal grandfather, that definitely would have been his his train of thought. Not necessarily that the guy couldn't change the tire, but that he didn't even take care of it. I would have had to call either my father or him to tell me how to do it. Yeah.
Okay, I understand that. I have three daughters, and I learned from a situation. My daughter was with this guy who was a straight up loser. He was a loser. And, she'll say it now that he was a loser. She just didn't see it. We all saw it, but she didn't see it. And, with girls, you can't say too much or you'll push them closer to the little loser, right? But
Yeah.
she called me and she was like, my tire's flat and we can't change it. And I said, what do you mean we? And she said his name. And I was like, what? So you mean I got to come get you? So I'm rolling over there. I'm hot, right? I'm like, she with this little funky ass dude. He can't even change the tire. And I get there, so I got my tools and I'm ready to go. And I find out why they couldn't change the tire. The lug nuts, that you had to have one of those jackhammers to get it off. There was no way that you could power it off. So
Okay.
I was over there and I was angry at him, like she with this little suck ass dude or whatever. Then I get there and I couldn't even change the tire. Not because I didn't know how to change the tire, but because it just I was nobody was physically able. So we had to call somebody to come out to have, the hydraulic jack to be able to get it off. So
Hmm.
that we got to give these young men a little bit of grace. Yeah, it's disappointing that your daughter or young family member is with somebody who can't do quote unquote manly roles, can't, do that stuff. But sometimes, man, they didn't have it. They didn't have a dad that made them do those type of things. I made my son do it. I made my daughters change tires. Sit there and
Hmm.
all right, take it back off so he can do it now. Take it back off so she can do it. Because I didn't really want them having to depend on anybody to help them, right? But not everybody has that type of guidance in this world. Now, it could be a bigger sign that, okay, if he ain't had no male figure to teach him how to change a tire, what else did they not teach him about being a man? That could be a sign that you may have to worry about some other stuff, but I don't think it's fair to just throw somebody away because they can't do one particular thing.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily throw the person away. I would take into consideration their age and, like you said, family history. Who was around this person to teach them or whatever. Like if they're young, I can excuse it and say, okay, maybe we need to teach both of y'all how to do this or whatever. But I wouldn't necessarily say get rid of the person. But again, I go back to, okay, you don't know how to change it, but can you should be able to call somebody and say,
Look,
you know,
to be honest with you, Tay, I know how to change a tire. I live in Texas. It's hot as fuck. I'm not about to change no tire. I pay
yeah,
on-site assistance. We're gonna get somewhere where we're safe. We're gonna call them out. They're gonna change that tire. Then we're gonna be on our way. Now I've heard women say that they judge men for that. But listen, I'm not finna be out here sweating. I ain't got nothing to prove to nobody. And if that's a
yeah,
problem, then guess what? I'll find me another chick that don't mind that I pay for roadside assistance and that I can get us back up and going safely.
yeah. I know how to change a tire too, but I have not changed a tire since I was in my mid 20s, I think. And yeah, and I'm not about to get out there and change change it. That's what roadside assistance is for.
That's what it's for.
So yeah.
That's what it's for. So I'm like, yeah, girl, if you judging me about that, then just like, hey, listen, I heard women say, hey, if my man can't do the yard work, if he can't mow the yard and do all this old shit, then I don't really want him. Guess what? I live in Texas. It could get up to 120, 106 degrees. Guess what I'm not doing? I'm not doing no yard work. So that's going to be in the budget. I'm hiring Fernando to come and get my shit right. Now I don't have a house anymore, right? But listen, if you got a problem with that, that's on you. Because I'm not going to be out there having a heat stroke. I'm not doing it.